We are Makilala TV, the first Filipino-American TV talk show in the New York metro area. Get to know us as we talk to the community leaders, innovators, advocates, and emerging artists who affect Filipino-American life.
Welcome to Makilala. My name is Cristina Pastor. Filipino women are said to be, or known to be, the demure type, shy, soft-spoken, modest. At least that's the stereotype. So when you learn there are Filipinas in law enforcement, you sort of take a second look. There are women in the NYPD. What do they do there? How did they get there? Why would they even want to work there? You know, that's precisely the reason we're having this conversation, to peel the layers of misguided information about what women police officers do. My curiosity was stoked when I met Angelica Velez at a Philippine Independence Day ceremony at Bowling Green, where she spoke together with Mayor Eric Adams and other dignitaries. She said then she was being groomed to be a nurse, but decided to sign up for the NYPD without telling her parents. I thought her story touched a lot of nerves. A Filipina defying conventions and stereotypes to be a detective. I'm sure Constantina DeLuca has her own riveting story to share on how she helps keep the city safe. On behalf of my co-hosts, Rachelle Ocampo and Elizabeth Cueva, welcome to Makilala, officers. Let's start with Angie. Tell us about your role in the NYPD and what exactly do you do?
So I work for the Office of the Chief of Department.
Mm-hmm.
I work in a unit called the Ceasefire Unit. And what we do is we help at-risk individuals that have been incarcerated or have had a pretty violent past. And we give them services. We will give them any type of help, like with housing, education, and things like that. So with the officers in the precincts, they let us know as well if they have any individuals that may need help as well.
So your job is mainly, is it more office-based than street-based, right?
Yes, it is.
Tina, tell us your job.
I work for the crime scene unit, so we respond to crime scenes within all 5 boroughs. So
Yeah, kind of like Olivia Benson in Law and Order.
kind of. So our job is to, take photographs of the scene, search for evidence, and collect it. So
Yeah, which is more street-based than office-based. Your job.
it's more office based, but we do go on scene and
Okay.
we document the scene.
Rachelle?
No, it's funny when you were saying the intro of like describing a Filipina. I was like, am I Filipino? Because that is not what I am.
You know, we have to clarify that these two women were born here.
Yes,
right?
okay.
So that makes the difference. That makes a difference. right?
It's a factor,
Yeah.
yes, I'm sure. What got you into being part of the NYPD? Like, how did you get into this role?
I guess for me, it was in high school. So there was a career day that we had, and there was a female sergeant that spoke. And I think at that point, I was just like taken. I was like, that's what I want to do. But I was conflicted, obviously, because my parents were like, no, you're going to go and be a nurse, doctor, whatever. And so at that moment, I knew that's what I wanted to do, but I knew I had to figure out another way to do what I wanted. I wanted to do both. So that's how it started.
But you also took up nursing, right?
I did,
Yeah,
yes.
And finished it.
Yes, I did.
And worked as a nurse
I did.
initially, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I did, yeah.
How long were you a nurse before you
Oh,
transitioned?
literally like maybe 18 months, a year and a half.
So
And my investigator called and she's like, listen, we're going to close up your case. Do you want to be in the next class? And I go, yes.
Yeah.
So I gave my 2 weeks notice and my parents didn't know
Oh.
at
Tina,
all.
how did you become a NYPD cop?
Since I was younger, since I was in even middle school, I always wanted to do like crime scene stuff. I love like forensic files and all that. So I was like, how do I do that? So I found out you could be a crime scene investigator, and in New York, which is the state that I live in, you have to be a police officer to do that. So it was a pretty easy solution.
Nobody in the family is in law enforcement?
I have one cousin, but other than that, I was the first female. After me, my other cousin joined after me,
Lily?
So, what sort of do you have to take an examination or training to be able to become a police officer? So, can you tell us about it? The rigors of entering the New York Police Department.
We both, I'm pretty sure, took an NYPD exam.
Yeah.
And then after the whole investigation is done, you go to the academy, and it's 6 months. So it's physical. You also, there's an educational portion to it where you have to take like classes and stuff.
Yeah. Prior to going into the academy, you have to pass like a physical exam.
Right.
Physical.
So it's like a kind of like an obstacle course. So it's kind of.
What about psychological exams too?
Yes, they do that.
There's a background check.
That's during like before they take you to the police academy.
So you have
check.
physical, and then you have your medical, then you have the written exam first.
Yes.
Right. Yes.
Then you go through the physical, your medical, and psychological, and that's when you're already in the police academy.
No,
that's
not
before
yet.
you go into
Before
yes.
How
because
long
they do a
is
background check
it
too.
when you go to the police academy?
6 months.
6 months.
Only 6 months?
Yeah.
So you guys or you girls are protecting a city that is high value, like New York City, high profile. How does that make you feel? Protecting New York City.
It's rewarding, I would say.
It's rewarding.
Yeah, and it's like if you could make it here, like if
You
I was,
make it in here.
like if I was to move to like another state, I feel like I'd be like, okay, like what haven't I seen here?
Right.
Yeah.
That's actually a question I had is, so my husband is also on the job, and he tells me the craziest stories. A lot of them sad, a lot of them just absolutely disturbing.
Yeah.
What is a story that you can share of the most like intense experience? Not horrifying, but just something that really has made you second guess your experience.
Well, for me, like in what I do, like I see, like I don't see really some scenes are pretty gruesome. So,
What was your reaction the first time you saw something like that?
honestly, people ask me that all the time, and
You didn't.
I don't know, like I don't.
Visceral
I
reaction.
think it sounds. I'm not trying to be corny or anything, but like I really feel like I was like meant to do this position because it really doesn't bother me. Like I see it like as it's my job, and like I just try to get it done. Like I'm lucky enough that I don't go home and I take it with me.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
Yeah,
That's
I think
important.
you definitely have to have that separation of job and personal life. Yeah.
definitely, especially like what we see in my unit,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So you deal with at-risk individuals? Is that what you said before?
Yes.
Okay, so how do you detach yourself? So you're and with the crime scene, and you told us that you don't bring it home. How is it that are you able to compartmentalize your personal life and then what you see on the streets?
Yeah.
So how do you deal with those things? What's your outlet?
I guess for me, it would be my family. I know that the second I get into my car after work, that is it. Like I get it out of my system. and when I'm driving home, I slowly but surely, I'm starting to come into like Angelica and Angie mode, and it's time to be mom. So for me, you have to be able to separate it, because if not, then everybody and everything gets affected by that.
You mean you still do the duties of a mom when you get home, like you cook?
Yes.
That's the harder part
Yeah.
of the job. Sometimes I'm like, I'd rather stay home. Like
It's true. Like sometimes I'm just like, I just want to go to work. When am I going to work right now? Yeah.
Oh, okay, all
We
right.
still do have.
I thought there was some kind of a division of labor between you and your spouse, or
So are you stricter because of your background in terms of disciplining your kids, or are you, easier on them? Like
knowing
does it affect
what you know
your
out there?
rearing?
I guess yes. I would say it's both. I don't want to be so strict because my parents were very strict. Typical religious Filipino parents, super strict. And so now from what we know and what we see in the streets, we know how bad it can be, and we know how children are so vulnerable. And I try not to be so strict, but there is that element where I'm very mother hen, very overprotected. So I try my best not to be one or the other.
Tina?
Yeah.
I guess it's not being so much strict, but just being protective. You know, like
Mhm.
I'm always watching, like, what are you watching on your phone? Because there's so many times that like little kids are like talking to people, and you know, parents don't know. So I definitely, I guess since what we do, like I'm definitely more protective. Like if we're in the park, or my eye is like on, I'm like, where is she? You know?
Right.
Your daughter Avery's
Yes.
5 years old, right?
Yes, she's 5, but I think she's like 16. But
I know, because you go with her to salons, nail salons.
that's my best friend.
So, does she understand what you do? How do you explain your job to her?
Well, she's so cute because she came home from school one day and she's like, "Mommy, we're learning about superheroes," and she's like, "My teacher told me you're a superhero." I'm like, "Yeah, you know, like we try to help." I was like, "We try to help people, do our best. Like we're here to protect where we live." I do tell her about my firearm. I tell her, you don't touch that. I was like, don't go anywhere near. So I'm very honest with her. Whatever she asks me, like I don't, I try to tell her the truth.
Yeah.
You know?
And Angie, you also have a daughter, right?
I have 2 daughters, yeah.
And you said that you wouldn't encourage them to join the NYPD? If you can help it.
I'm not that I wouldn't. I mean, I would. Whatever my daughters want to do, I will back them no matter what. But I will be very transparent with them about how our job is, because it's not always going to be fun days, and it's not always going to be the happiest. So you just have to be very clear on that. Yeah.
Rachelle?
Yeah, one of the questions I had that was similar to that is, would you encourage your children to go into NYPD? I know you touched upon it, Angie, already, but Tina, would you encourage Avery?
I mean, if she wanted to do it, I wouldn't, discourage her, but I would want her to do something more safe because, that's my baby. But it's definitely a good job with security. We have a great retirement plan, and just like if something like COVID was to happen, we would always have a job. So it's definitely a secure career. So if that's what she would want to do, I wouldn't stop her from it.
Wait, we didn't ask them about how many Filipinas there are in the NYPD.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
I was like, when Cristina mentioned this episode, I was like, how many Filipinas are there on the NYPD?
Filipinas,
right? Yeah. Do you know that
Do you know the number?
So I would say probably about a dozen, or maybe even less than a dozen Filipinas
What
on the
about
job.
everybody, men and women?
I would say there's probably maybe close to
50?
maybe over 50. Definitely over 50.
I was like,
Maybe,
I already
yeah.
know like at least 20 of them.
Yeah, definitely over
definitely
50,
more
but maybe
men
less than
than
100,
women.
maybe 100 or so.
Oh, really?
I would say that.
Filipinos?
Yes, total.
Are you aware though, say if a police officer is Filipino or has Filipino lineage, are you aware of this? Because we're a hybrid race, so it's hard to pinpoint.
I mean, I feel like when I look at someone, I'm like,
Yeah.
Filipino, and then people always make fun of me.
Eye contact.
Yeah,
like
and
they
you
reflect
know,
though.
yeah.
Like
You
just know.
it's you can tell, and we look at each other's last names
Yeah.
too. More than likely, if you're
we have
Asian
with
with
the
a
Spanish
Asian
last name, but your
Yeah.
Italian American last name, right? That's
Yes,
what,
my last name is Italian.
Yeah.
My
What's
dad.
your Filipino? What's your mother's surname? Tina.
My mom's or her last name?
Uh-huh.
She's
Your middle name. That's your
my
middle
middle name is Marie.
No, your
Oh.
mother's surname.
Oh, Paulino.
Paulina. Okay.
Mhm.
From Bulacan, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's right. And you've never been to the Philippines? Are you planning to visit?
Oh, I would love to go there.
Oh,
I would
yeah.
love to.
I've been to the Philippines, but very young.
Okay.
I would love to go as well.
Okay.
From
Yeah.
where in the Philippines is your
My family, they're from Bulacan.
Also Bulacan.
Yeah.
The three of us
Me
are from
too.
Bulacan.
Yeah.
Bulacan,
Really?
my mother's
Where?
side, Hagonoy side.
Oh my God. Rochelle, where are you from? Where's your
Mom
family
is from Bicol and
Oh,
dad is
okay.
from Quezon City.
Oh,
So not
okay.
Bulacan. Sorry.
Rochelle is an NYPD wife.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, do you want to share your experience? I'm
Um,
sure you must have met them at some point in your life.
yes.
You probably
We
just
apparently
didn't know,
have been
yeah.
in the same community events and weddings.
Right.
Oh,
It's
really?
a small world.
That's
The
very
Filipino
small
world
world.
is very small.
Very, very small.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, I'm as a Filipino wife to an NYPD officer. He says that one of the reasons why he married me is because of how understanding I am to his job.
Yeah, it's very
You need
right.
a big support system
Yeah.
to be part of this job.
Yeah.
You need to know the long hours. He has done night shifts since we got together, so that is my life. Like
Yeah.
that's how it is.
So what about their spouses? How do they deal with you being police officers?
Well, my boyfriend is a police officer, so
okay.
it's kind of easy because, like what she said, like you understand the schedule and you
Yeah.
understand the demands of the job. So
And the dangers.
yes,
The risk.
Is he in the same unit or line of work?
he's in
Detective.
yes, he's in the detective bureau.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
She's trying to get like, so did you?
No, because he's also married to an NYPD officer.
Oh my
Right,
gosh!
yes,
Yes.
yes.
That's
Okay.
right.
It happens.
It happens.
Yeah.
That's how you
commiserate with.
Yes, that's how exactly how we met. Yeah.
That's right. So I'm curious about your upbringing. Do you have religious mothers?
Yes.
Are they
Yeah.
Super.
Are they the kind of mom who would send you off with a rosary or a prayer book as you go to work? Tell us about that, Angie.
So I remember when I graduated from nursing, they gave me a cross. When I graduated the academy, they gave me a rosary, a cross, and something for my car. So they're very and I have it in my book bag with me. So my mom and my dad always remind me that don't forget.
Don't forget to pray.
And the higher being, be thankful that you're safe. So yes, I have many.
But are
many
you
things.
Are you practicing Catholic?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
Mhm.
What about you, Tina?
Yeah, my family is religious. I have a cross that I have in my hat. They gave me a rosary, but just in everyday life, I just recently bought a house, and my mom's like, "You have to bring the Santo Niño. You have to bring salt rice." I'm like, I was like, so like when I moved into my house,
That's right.
those are the first
We
three
observed
things
that,
I
yeah.
had to bring into my house, and she's like walking around blessing it. I was like, okay, Mom, I'll take whatever blessings I can get, and protection. So definitely.
I bought a condo last year, and I did the same thing.
Yeah.
That's what everybody told me to do.
Yeah.
You brought a
We all had
saint,
to.
Salt,
And the Santo
rice,
Niño.
Yeah. And she's
Yeah.
like, the Santo Niño has to face the door. I'm like, people are gonna walk in my house. Like, what is that? I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, so
So, Rachelle?
No, I actually, before this, you actually shared this badge with me, and I was very curious because
Your badge is with me, Lily.
So I don't know if the TV can do a close up to it, but I wanted to ask you the meaning of this badge because it's kind of a little solemn that there's I don't know how you describe it. Is it chalk?
it's basically like it's kind of like our logo for that, like my unit created. So like each unit, they have like, they call like challenger coins. So they're like little coins that people collect, and it has kind of like our emblem for like our unit. So that's ours. And
The numbers 5, 6, 8. What is that? Just arbitrary numbers?
that's just like our command code. So like, if you were to talk to like an officer from a precinct, they would say, I'm from the 104th precinct.
Oh.
So like, since we're in a unit, that's the number that identifies like what
crime
code,
scene.
our code is.
CSC.
Yeah.
And then you are in
The chief of department's office.
department.
So we have
So
a
she
we have a
has
code
a
as
different
well.
code too.
Oh, okay.
And you have the same badge too. Yeah.
No,
Oh, okay.
our badge is a little different.
Similar,
Yeah.
like a different emblem.
Yeah. Each unit has their own little
So
symbol.
we can show that during traffic violations.
Oh my God.
That will not help.
I know DeLuca. That's what I'll say.
So what are the joys and challenges of being in law enforcement?
I guess the joys of it are, there is a fulfilling aspect to it. Like you are making a difference. The challenges I would say are more external, and when I say external, I would say like this is society. A lot of individuals forget that as officers, we are, human as well. We are parents, we are children of, so I think that's some of the challenges that we face, especially now with, law enforcement being on the opposite side of society's, good graces. So.
Why? Why do you say that? On the opposite side?
And I guess maybe how I would explain that is, we are, I guess what I would say, the fault of one, the fault of all.
Right.
So when something negative happens in law enforcement, we're all deemed
Oh,
you know,
okay. Yeah,
like the
yeah.
bad guys.
Yeah, you know, like how like one bad apple like
Right.
explodes
Yeah.
everything. So,
So,
And they assume that everybody is.
right,
that way.
yeah. So I guess that I would say is some of the challenges that we face.
I remember one
Tina?
of the.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. You could.
I would say my joy, honestly, like I love my coworkers. Like you
Oh,
go to
that's-
work
that's
and it's
very
like
important.
Yeah.
it's like your second family, and if not, you
Right.
see them more than your regular family, and it's just
True.
nice. Like we kind of, you know, get each other through the day. Like we talk about like what we see. So that's definitely a joy of mine. I would say.
What about
What's
the
difficult?
challenges?
Yeah, I would say the scheduling. You know, it's very demanding. You know, we don't get holidays off like everyone else. The summer's
Oh, really?
off.
You work
Yeah.
7
So-
days a week?
Not 7 days a week, but I have a rotating schedule, so I don't have steady days off. So it's kind of you know what's difficult about it, but
And your
It's a-
daughter understands that?
yeah, and I have great support from my family, thank God. So, but that's
So
definitely-
when there's a crime scene that you have to investigate, you're on call.
yeah,
your
so like
captain will
during
call
like
you.
my working hours, so let's say like my working hours is from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. If I'm ready to clock out at 3 p.m., but a crime scene happens at like 2:50, I'm on call. So like I might think I'm going home at 3, but you know, 2:50 comes and a crime scene comes, and I'm there until everything is picked up. So that could take me. I've been on crime scenes that lasted like 2 days.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So they can call you at any time, right?
During the hours that I'm at work, yes. But there's times that they needed extra people.
Beyond your work hours, can they call you at
Yes,
any time?
if they need like extra help, then they'll reach out to you on your day off, and you'll come.
Yeah, because I was like a juror, and your role is crucial because sometimes they can question the chain of custody, say they're, getting all the evidence, and there's a break, it can ruin your case.
Yeah,
So that's
absolutely.
why it's all crucial.
I watch Monk. I don't know why I had to say that. I watch Monk, and he's always called out to crime scenes at any time of the day. So that's normal. Right?
Not
Like a
really.
consultant? Like
He inspects crime scenes, looks at the blood, looks at the body, which is what you do, right?
Yeah, we do, but we don't really. It goes by who's scheduled working those hours.
Okay.
It's kind of
Not
random.
unless you said that there is a big.
Yeah.
They need more people.
So what's the relationship between the NYPD and the DA when you're building up a case? You have like a strong relationship with the DA, or
Yeah, absolutely.
sometimes it can turn around and how come you didn't file the case?
No, well, definitely in my unit, we work hand in hand with them because a lot of times we are their key witness.
Yes.
So we definitely make sure we're on the same page together.
Do you ladies I don't know, go to rallies? Keep peace during rallies?
No.
You don't do that. You
No,
do
I
that?
haven't done
okay.
that. Thankfully.
So your job has a lot of risks, right?
Right.
Can you share a story where you were really at risk?
So for
Something that you remember.
before I was
Not traumatically.
Oh no, thank God. You used to work in narcotics, so for me, one of I think my out of world moments was my case. I investigated a specific location, and it was time to hit the door, do a search warrant on it, and that takes time. It takes
To get a search warrant.
a search warrant and the investigative
Okay.
process of that. So at that moment, now you have a group of people that are here with you because you investigated this.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure that you have done your job and
That's
your part.
right.
And if not, then it'd be a problem. But I guess when it's your search warrant, you have to be at the front. You're going to be the first person in that door, and you're going to be the first person to encounter whatever. So I think when one of my coworkers was ready to open up the door, I think that's when I had that experience where, all right, I just had to do what I had to do.
Which
and
is,
so we went through the door,
went through
and
the door.
we had to.
you
complete-
led? Did you lead?
Yes,
the
I went
team?
in first,
Oh,
and it
God.
was just a full team of
Wow.
a lot of people, and I was the only female on
Did you,
what we call a stack.
Did you kick the door?
No, so we
No.
had some.
She's trying to like
You know,
envision.
so
That's what
no.
that's what I watch on
So the
TV.
person, my coworker that was helping me, he
Okay.
hacked. We had a ram, and he
Okay.
had to bust down the door.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's right.
and I was the first one in, and we usually go through whatever we have to go
right.
through. Yeah.
Tina,
So
I guess
Your
one thing
example.
that came to my mind is before I went to crime scene, I was
Very
a regular
briefly.
patrol officer
Sorry.
in Brooklyn, and me
Uh-huh.
and my partner, we were apprehending arrests, and we had to get in a physical fight.
Oh, okay.
I ended up getting bit,
Oh,
so
okay.
That
it's
happens.
okay. And
Yeah.
but I think just the risk factor in that was just I don't
That's
know
right.
what type of health
You would do.
that the other person's under, so I had to take like medications and stuff. So that kind of stinked because I was breastfeeding my daughter at the time. So that kind of like
oh no.
I'm so sorry,
It's
women,
okay.
ladies,
I know.
girls. But I think we're running out of time. There's so many things I learned today, and one of them is that women can be whatever they want to be. Being a police officer is just another job, right? Before we go, Angie and Tina, would you like to invite women, young women who may be interested in joining the NYPD but are having second thoughts?
Yes, our job, like I said, is very rewarding. They're like any other career, good days and bad days. So if you have that sense of adventure, unpredictability, you could definitely join.
It is really
Yes,
unpredictable.
for sure. Yes.
and there's just so many people in NYPD that will be there for you and help you out
Right.
in that
Yeah.
journey. So definitely
That's right.
something you're interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come join.
You build
It's a
second
nice
family.
place to be.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Thanks so much. Thanks for coming down, Angie and Tina.
Of course,
And
you're welcome.
Thank you
thanks
for
again.
having us.
Oh,
Yes,
thank
yes.
you.
I wanted to
And
ask
th-
more questions.
Oh my God, we'll do it after the. And thanks, Rachelle and Lily, for asking
Yes,
very
thank
insightful
you.
questions. Until next time, thanks for watching.